Now, if we're going against the wall, the same kind of thing will happen. But what we did today is he's got the underhook, I got the overhook. So if he's got the underhook, I'm immediately trapping this arm. He may have good head position. He might have my arm controlled. He has all this stuff. And if I try to push with my shoulders, or if I try to get away, you're not moving. So similar to when we're on the ground doing our shrimp, our goal is to create space. So I'm pushing my butt against the wall. As I push my butt against the wall, I'm going to drive my shoulders forward. So I'm going, and that puts weight on him and gives me now space to move. And now it's really up to this person, up to me to figure out which is going to be the quickest and the most efficient and effective way to get away. So at this point there's a huge hole over here, so I'm stepping out and then I want to control him. All right, and then I'm smashing him into the wall, putting him back. Now I have the opportunity potentially, if I need to push myself back or to come in and control him, because maybe I need to control this person. All right, so there's many ways to finish this once I get here. I could finish this with my hands, or I could step back, or I could get my firearm out, or whatever I needed to do. So the goal is to get off the wall. And when we're doing this, this is not much different than the same way that I would have our guys do it if they're fighting MMA. They have to get off a cage. If they stay in the cage, they lose. So we're trying to create this room right here. Boom, pushing away, creating this. And sometimes I'll feel like, oh, I can use my overhook and I can pressure him this way. So all of a sudden you go, boom. And if this is obviously a very hard wall, it happens very fast. And most people aren't thinking about blocking because it happens too quick. And next thing you know, their head's hitting. Okay? So it's the big thing, regardless of how I got my arms, is pushing my butt against the wall and creating this space. Right? And that was one of the primary things we did to get off the wall. One, because it's simple and it doesn't require me to have a bunch of upper body strength. Doesn't matter if my arms are pinned or not, I can still create that same space. So that's a huge thing. Now, my goal is to get to an underhook or an overhook if I can, but sometimes I might be down like this and he comes in and my hand's down, so then I get this underhook. And we go right to that same pin right here. Right? Now at this point, I may not be able to, push him off, but I'm going to still try to push my hips out. And then sometimes as I feel him push back, I'm going to use this as a shot put, just shot put him off. Right? What I'm waiting for is his energy to tell me I can do it. If he's clamping down really hard right here, this is not the time to try to hit my shot. But now I might be able to use my other hand. And see how he has my arm control because he's trying to pin me? This hand can just go like slap my belly. And then I come up and look, it's coming right up and I'm creating this frame. Right? I create this frame here. Once I have this frame, I'm controlling his head. Now I have my way out. I'm controlling his shoulder. I could step out this way if I wanted to, release it and come right into my position, right? Or I could step away. So the biggest thing is knowing how to get my hands into a better position. And I see people trying to re-pummel, trying to fight his grip. But real simple. I take my own hand. It's like I'm gonna slap and come inside. Now maybe I want to get inside this grip here to control his arm. Because now I can feel like, oh, I got all this room to get away. Other thing is right here, I have this hand is now free. If I've now got it from his grip and I've gotten inside, this hand could easily come up to his face. And, which is really important, which I addressed when we were on the ground, make sure when you decide to strike somebody that you're kind of in a position that you can get away or control that scenario. Because if you strike somebody and you're not able to control them, you're gonna put gas on the fire. Now you've got them even more pissed off, and they're gonna attack harder, and they're gonna come after you with more firepower. So I want to make sure I'm using that at the right time to either create an opening to escape that I know I can get away from, or to really put a hurt on them because I'm in a dominant position. They can't strike me back. All right, so it's super important to take that into consideration, because in a self-defense situation it's much different because, man, you might be there all by yourself, nobody there. It's not any controlled environment. It's total chaos. So my goal is I want to get as much control as possible before I try to add to the situation.
You said something earlier that resonated a lot with me, in that maybe you give me an idea.
Yes.
You know, if you're not in a good dominant position and you thumb me in the eyes or you hit me or whatever, and I do have a better position, but I was just grappling, because people get, you know, single-minded, and now it's like, oh, I can hit too, or oh, I can high gouge too, and that when you said that earlier, it really stuck with me. And
that's a huge thing, because even in fighting, like in the cage or even Thai boxing, we call it the Jedi Mind Trick. I want somebody to kick me, I kick them. They're gonna kick you back. All right, I want someone to punch, you punch them. You punch them, all of a sudden they're punching you back. So the same thing is gonna happen here. If all of a sudden I start to dig for his eyes, what's he gonna do? Now there's a brand new idea. It's like, I'm going for his eyes. I'm not gonna let this person just go for me. Or same thing, you start trying to knee them in the balls. All of a sudden, next thing you know, you're getting kneed in the balls because he's in a better position than you are. So that's huge, you know, when you're talking about trying to save yourself and get yourself out of this situation, not make it worse. Yeah, and that's something that's super important.